Hey, and welcome back to AWitchAlone's podcast. I'm your hostess Danielle, and today we'll be discussing various tips on how to come out of the broom closet. This particular episode you may find really helpful or not at all, as it's entirely subjective. I may have had a relatively easy time coming out to my family, but I did come across some adversity with friends or coworkers. Not often, but it was enough. And it's a message I receive quite frequently about how to tell your conservative or religious family members without extreme consequence. All I can do is arm you with some of the best options I can think of and hope that at least one of them works for you. My first piece of advice is know who you're talking to. It's really unfortunate that I have to say it, but if this is going to be a battle you cannot win, don't put yourself in the situation. If there's a real possibility that you can be kicked out or even worse, physically harmed, then look after yourself and stay in the broom closet. You won't live at home forever, and eventually you will have your own space to do whatever you want with that your parents or family members have no say over. Above all, please stay safe. If you decide to go ahead with telling people your practices and way of life, then here are my suggestions. Be as informed as you can be. You will run into two types of people when talking about your path. People that fear you and people that think you're crazy. The crazy people will probably laugh at you or laugh it off and not give you the time of day. Those that fear you are usually driven by religious fear. They have been taught to treat anyone outside of their realm of normality as evil or taken over by the devil. While some of these people may be afraid, they may also be at least open to listening. While it seems unlikely, it is not impossible, and that was my mom, and I never felt in danger or even belittled by her for my choice. Work on your discussion skills. You do not need to convince someone else that organized religion stole pagan practices, but try and work on showing them similarities between the two. Which saints match up with your deities, and things like that. Try and give them history on why we originally brought fir trees inside in winter and how it translated over to Christmas, why we use rabbits and eggs at Easter, even though they have nothing to do with each other, and if possible, find sources that you can provide them with. Second is keep your cool. There will always be people who think you're just making it up because they refuse to believe or listen, or people that feel personally attacked no matter how you try and explain yourself or your path. They will get angry and loud, and the best thing for you to do is stay calm. If you fall to their level of rudeness or volume, you're no better than they are. Don't scream at your parents, "You just don't understand me," or "This isn't a phase," because that will just solidify their view that you are still an immature child. Breathe deep and keep a calm head on your shoulders. Know when to walk away. If someone just isn't getting it, if they are pulling facts out of thin air or are disputing their deity to you, it might be better to simply walk away. Your words are most likely falling on deaf ears at this point. If they are interrupting you halfway through to interject with someone else, they aren't truly listening, and at that point you're just wasting your breath, time, and energy. It can be frustrating to be so passionate about something or to finally feel at home in something and have the person you're talking to completely ignore you or try and belittle you. So if you find yourself here, just walk away. Stay focused and keep it simple. I am confident, of course, that you will talk to people who will actually listen. And when you find someone willing to do that, it can be very easy to go off on a tangent about all the great things about witchcraft or paganism or Wicca, and it can sometimes be misconstrued as you trying to turn someone. Of course, someone's view of what you're saying is subjective, but there are ways to prevent that. Try and keep your explanations simple and talk slow. If they continue to ask questions, absolutely answer what you're comfortable answering. Have resources on hand. Instagram handles, websites, books you can lend, possibly this podcast, to help them if they are curious about really understanding. And say thank you. Just because someone is listening to you doesn't always mean they are 100% comfortable with what they are hearing, especially if it goes against everything they have grown up with. But they've given you the respect and their time to listen, so make sure to be courteous afterwards and thank them for listening. It can mean the world and be the difference between an open and closed discussion channel. That brings us to the end of this episode, and I really hope that some of these points will resonate with you and will help you when talking to people about your path. This will be a bi-weekly podcast, I promise, so make sure to subscribe and turn your notifications on. Next time we will be going into my mini-series of 7 episodes about tools of the trade, starting with the besom. This episode was brought to you by the tarot card, the 10 of Pentacles. The 10s always indicate the end of a journey, and the Pentacles are all about home, health, and career. The 10 of Pentacles is a card that signifies material and spiritual abundance. Quite fitting, as coming out of the broom closet may be the end of a journey of self-discovery for you spiritually, and that can lead to a happier atmosphere for you. If you're on Instagram or Twitter, swing by my page under the same name, AWitchAlone, and if you follow, make sure you say hi. I loved meeting new followers. Until next episode, blessed be.